The Exorcist Believer was undoubtedly one of the most hyped movies for 2023 in the horror community. But unfortunately for a lot of people, this movie fell flat and it didn't really serve its purpose as the direct sequel to the 1973 Exorcist. This was supposed to be the first of a trilogy brought to us by David Gordon Green and Blumhouse Productions, but after the negative reception to The Exorcist Believer, this whole plan was scrapped and the franchise is getting rebooted entirely. Mike Flanagan is taking the mantle and he is going to be the one making this new Exorcist movie. And after this recent interview with Mike Flanagan, I'm assuming that this is probably going to be the scariest Exorcist movie that we have ever gotten. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Haydxn, and today we are going to be talking about the Exorcist movie that is currently in production and how it can be the scariest movie of all time. So without further ado, go ahead and grab yourself a snack and a drink, sit tight, and let's get into it. So like I said, this new Exorcist trilogy was planned to be brought to life by David Gordon Green, and if that name does sound familiar to you, that's because he is the guy who brought back the new Halloween movies. With that, I'm talking about Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and the poorly received Halloween Ends. He basically wanted to do the same thing there with Exorcist and making a new trilogy of these movies, but after the first movie, the reception fell flat and they just scrapped the entire project. But now The Exorcist is getting an all-new reboot completely, and this time it is coming from Mike Flanagan. Mike Flanagan's Exorcist movie is aiming for a theatrical release of March 13th, 2026. It's also said that this movie will tell an entirely new story for The Exorcist, and it will not be a direct sequel to The Exorcist Believer from David Gordon Green. It's said to be a radical new take on the franchise, and this is all from an article according to Bloody Disgusting. Flanagan says, "We aren't making this easy on ourselves, but I've always felt that there's no point in going into a franchise or into a property that monolithic unless there is something new that you can bring. I chased The Exorcist very aggressively because I was convinced that I had something I could add." He continues, "This is an opportunity to do something that I believe has never been done within this franchise, something that honors what came before it but isn't completely built on nostalgia. I really just saw an opportunity to make the scariest movie that I have ever made. I know the expectations are high and nobody is more intimidated than I am. This is good considering that the fact that this guy who is making this movie is putting all of this pressure on himself because he knows how high the expectations are. I could only imagine that means that we are going to get something incredible out of this, and the fact that he is aiming to make this the scariest movie that he has ever made, that also adds to us being hyped and to us having to believe in this film." Flanagan previously said in a statement, "The Exorcist is one of the reasons I became a filmmaker, and it is an honor to have the chance to try something fresh, bold, and terrifying within its universe. Reuniting with my friends over at Blumhouse, with whom I've made some of my favorite pieces of work, only makes this more exciting." So a few things to note from this article. Number one, this is still under the Blumhouse helm. They are still helming this movie. They are still going to be helping produce and pump out this Exorcist film. So now we have Blumhouse and we have Mike Flanagan, who is behind several incredible movies, including probably his most popular one, Hush. We can only imagine that this movie is going to be incredible. But the thing with Blumhouse is it's kind of like a never-ending revolving door. A new idea will go in, and either it goes through the door and it goes inside successfully, or it just completely goes around and turns around and comes back outside. Like, there's no in-betweens here. But given that The Exorcist is probably not going to be rated PG-13, Blumhouse is probably going to do something incredible with Mike Flanagan to make this movie what it should have been last year. And with Mike Flanagan saying that he has something new to add to the Exorcist franchise, we can not only expect probably one of the scariest movies of all time, but we can expect a new take on The Exorcist, so it's not just a rinse and repeat of the 1973 film. The original Exorcist is always considered to be one of the scariest movies of all time, and whether that's just considered by a group of older generations because they've seen it when they were a child and they're holding on to it for nostalgic purposes, or because it is genuinely terrifying to think that someone can be possessed by this demon. And then, I mean, you just look at the main character, and that is one of the creepiest characters we've seen in horror by far. But imagine a new modern take on The Exorcist coming from Blumhouse and Mike Flanagan. Like I said, we had The Exorcist Believer, but due to negative reception and critical response, it all got scrapped. They're not doing the trilogy, and it honestly just really fell short in being a direct sequel to The Exorcist. So after hearing that reception of last year, there is no way that Mike Flanagan and Blumhouse is going going to let that fall flat yet again. They are undoubtedly going to take the criticism from last year's Exorcist Believer, they are going to hold on to it, and they are going to form this into a brand new movie, something that we have never seen before. And that should make you excited as an Exorcist fan. It should make you excited as a horror fan, because if the original Exorcist is one of the scariest movies of all time, and Mike Flanagan wants to make the scariest movie he's ever made on top of adding all new elements to the Exorcist franchise, we are in for a treat. Trust me when I tell you. Expectations are at an all-time high for this movie, and I cannot wait to see what Blumhouse and Mike Flanagan can produce and bring us as fans of the franchise and of horror as a genre. How do you guys think this is going to end up going? Do you think that the Exorcist movie that they are making is going to fall flat? Do you think that it's going to be as scary as the original? Or are you like me and do you think this has the potential to be the scariest movie of all time? Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. And as always, if you did enjoy this video, then please be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And as always, if you are going to subscribe to the channel, then please be sure to click that notification bell as well, because it is literally right there next to that subscribe button. And real quick before I get out of here, I want to thank you guys so much for all of your continuous support on my channel. I'm the closest that I have ever been to being able to apply and enter the YouTube partnership program, so with all of your guys' support, I'm getting closer and closer every single day. So whether you've just watched this video or all of my other videos, you've ever shared my videos, liked, commented, anything you've ever done, thank you so much for all of your support. It truly means the world to me. Enough of that sad stuff. Thank you for watching this video. My name is Haydxn. It was an absolute pleasure having you here on the channel, and I cannot wait to see you guys right here in the next video. Peace!